Alright, Major Tom here.
Ranger John here.
We're doing our second batch of our top 12 of 2012 lists. We're doing the Xbox Live arcades this time. Number 12, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game.
The game, not the movie or the comic book. The game.
Alright, this game reminds me of a lot of the old school beat 'em ups, like Streets of Rage type games.
And that ransom, or what's it called? Something City Ransom.
River City Ransom?
River City Ransom, yeah.
And what was really cool about this game was probably the soundtrack. It was really awesome. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the game. But all around, you know, just the old school beat 'em up, and it was pretty challenging, some of the levels.
It's like what an arcade game should be, you know?
Yeah.
Like...
And... I mean, one of the only downfalls of this game, I had to say, it didn't have any online co-op, which kind of bothered me. It had like split screen only.
It's like perfect for that, but
yeah, and I think it's only like 800 points, so it's a pretty good deal too.
They put that one on sale a lot too.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say about Scott Pilgrim?
No, you reminded me it didn't have online co-op, so now I'm like, should it be on the list?
All right, number 11. Ilo Milo, Ilo Milo, however the hell you pronounce it.
I think it's Ilo Milo.
Alright, we're going with that. Ilo Milo is
a puzzle game.
Yeah. With these two little cute things that are hilarious looking.
They look like bugs, right?
Yeah, like two little bugs. And like their goal of each level is like to meet up with each other or on this bizarre map, and then you have to... You flip them, or like they can go on all sides of the blocks or whatever, and so you push blocks and kind of turn the world upside down to get them together. And you also have to carry them, and like they go on as like a backpack, and then you have to bring it. And some of those damn levels are very challenging to take a long time.
Like it starts off really easy, and then it just suddenly is super difficult.
You'll be flipping the world around and around and around. You're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And that one did have online co-op, so that was cool.
And Avatar Awards.
Yes. So, a little bit of everything. Alright, number 10, Torchlight. Torchlight is a port from a PC game that some of the makers of Diablo worked on, and it's a dungeon explorer game. It doesn't have online co-op or anything, which sucked, but I mean, easily, it's a very fun single-player game that you can put hours into, and just exploring dungeons, going level after level, and it was one of my favorite things was you had a pet that you could actually send and go back to the store to sell all the crap you didn't want. That should be in every game.
Yeah, other than that, it's basically Diablo for the Xbox.
Yeah.
So, how could that not be on top of the list?
Exactly. Alright, number 9. One of the hardest games that took us forever to beat, Super Contra. I think we had to try about 200 times until we beat this game.
Every day. We played for like an hour every day until we got it.
If you haven't played Super Contra before, it's an old, like, I think, Super NES game, I want to say. And it's a side-scrolling... like platform shooter, and you basically have to practice every level until you learn every little aspect of it until you beat it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to know when to jump and duck and shoot, and you have to know what guns to use when, and the one level that's basically like an alien movie.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Don't ever lose the spread shot, okay? That's what you need to do.
You get that in the first level and keep it with you for the whole game.
Yeah. Alright, number 8, Braid. Braid, I would say, is a platforming puzzle, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's a puzzle because of the time mechanic. You kind of fast forward and rewind to make things happen in the map so you can progress. And
I had to say, Braid has one of the funniest looking characters in any game I've ever seen. He's like supposed to be like this man, but his... looks like a man child with this giant head, and he just looks hilarious. But definitely, if you're looking for another like puzzle-esque type game, this game definitely gets more tricky as it goes on. And if you're trying to collect and do everything in the game, you're gonna put a lot of time into it.
It's definitely for smart people.
Yeah. All right, number 7, Explosion Man. One of my favorite games to come out in the arcade in a long time. Explosion Man is made by Twist Pixels, probably one of my new favorite developers. They've been busting out awesome games, you know, over the last couple of years, especially for Xbox Live Arcade. Explosion Man's a platformer. You're this guy that You know, basically the whole mechanic is jump, jump, jump throughout all the levels, through various different obstacles, and you know, it sounds very simple, but trust me, it is not.
Yeah, and kind of, the way that they did it, your character's really goofy, and the scientists are there and they're goofy, and it's just a really colorful game. So it's kind of the same but different. It's new enough to be enjoyable.
Yeah, and it has a lot of humor aspect to it, and you could play, online co-op, and a lot of the levels are, as you go on, are gonna easily take you a lot of tries to get through, and they even have like a hardcore mode where you can't die throughout the whole level, and that is a real pain if you want to go through hardcore mode. So good luck to you if you try that. All right, number 6, one of my favorites, Snoopy Flying Aces. Now, with the name Snoopy, you'd think, oh, only little kids will like this game. Definitely not. This had one of the best online games, I would probably say, on arcade that you could play online. It was a blast. Yeah, I mean, the game has single player. It's got campaign. You can play co-op missions.
Definitely, the online is
the best.
where it's
yeah,
at.
the dogfighting. Having, what was it? I would say it's like 12 people in a match. Just with all the crazy power-ups, and it's real. You could easily put hours into it and have a good time. And it's actually was one of the most active arcade games. Which was surprising to me. And it's even got like map pack. Yeah, it's still got like you could even get like new planes and DLC and stuff like that. So I was really shocked. And if you're looking for, especially if you like flying planes and stuff, you'll really have fun with this game. All right, number 5, Shadow Complex, which was by Epic Games, right?
Yeah, Epic actually made this game, and it's a whole lot like the Metroid games. It's a side scroller kind of puzzle game. And throughout the game, you get the upgrades, kind of like you do in Metroid, where you shoot upgrades and you get this gun that shoots like foam, and you get like this jetpack thing, so you like shoot across the map and go flying. But it's another one of those that's it's kind of like a classic game, but they've added new things to it, which is what I think an arcade game should be.
Yeah, and I mean, it's more, I would say it was more opted towards like more hardcore players than like casual gamers that play a lot of the arcade games, you know what I mean? So that's what I think a lot of people, if they don't know about this game, it's a very fun shooting aspect, and it's meant for older audiences than a lot of the games that are, that come out are for casual players and younger audiences, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, number 4, Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy.
I have probably died more times in Super Meat Boy than I have in every other game combined.
Super Meat Boy is a platformer. It reminds me of some of these old NES games where, you get that one life and you have to just do ridiculous things just to be able to beat it. And it's a lot of practicing, and remember just to get through a level. And one of my favorite parts was, after you beat a level, it shows kind of like a screenshot of everywhere where you died.
Yeah, it does like a flashback, and then all of you, for every life you had, there's a Super Meat Boy on the screen, and then it just shows that Super Meat Boy die. So you could have like hundreds of Super Meat Boys on the screen dying.
I think I had like the entire map covered on some maps. I died so many damn times. So if you're definitely looking for a challenge platformer game, though, go ahead and go pick up Super Meat Boy. Alright, on to number 3, Castle Crashers. If you haven't played Castle Crashers, you're definitely missing out. Castle Crashers is made by the Behemoth Studios, and you can play it as 4-player online co-op, and it's a hack and slash with some powers. A lot of it's focused on, using your powers. You level up and then get stronger, and there's different pets you collect throughout the maps. And the game is very humorous also. You fight like ridiculous things, and just ridiculous funny things happen throughout the entire game.
Yeah. My favorite thing about it is it's like going to the arcade or Pizza Hut or whatever, like 5 or 10 years ago, and you just stand at the arcade cabinet and play with 3 other random people.
Yeah. And this game you could always find people to play with. That's what's good about it. It's like always on the top of the list, people playing it. And it's pretty amazing seeing that. And hopefully we see some more games coming from them soon. So,
yeah, release your new game.
Alright, number 2, Bastion. Bastion was a huge sensation that came out this year.
It's probably the newest game on our list.
Yeah.
A lot of well, it's getting a lot of attention for the soundtrack, which is good. But besides the soundtrack, the game's really fun. It's kind of got a different look to it than anything on the arcade. But it's really simple to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's very artsy looking, and you know, all the levels are really cool looking, a lot of detail in them. Like you said, the soundtrack's really awesome.
Everything looks like it was painted.
Yeah.
Basically.
And, you know, you could easily pick it up and play it and, you know, just put hours into this game, and you'll definitely see why so many people are getting it and playing it. Once you start playing this game, you know, you're not going to be able to put it down. You're going to want to get through it all, and you know, the game definitely deserves all the awards and everything it's getting and all the attention. So if you haven't heard anything about this game, you should definitely, you know, check it out. And I think it was from like a little indie developer that made it, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not even sure who made it.
But yeah, definitely props to them, and I hope they got some other really games up in the works. Alright, we're on to our number one, Limbo. Limbo is an amazing game to come out, I'd say. Limbo is this black and white game, and you think, black and white, what the hell? Yeah, but it works for this game for some reason. I would say it's like a platformer survival type game, because you're kind of, you know, it's got a little puzzle aspect to it too, you know, because you don't know how to get across something. You know, it has a lot of places you gotta hit levers to do something. A lot of times you're getting chased by something, and they're running scenes, and just the art style and how dark it is was really awesome.
It's really like artsy or whatever, but you're playing like this little like 6-7-year-old boy, and you'll be like running across the screen, and then you'll see there's just a shadow, and you think it's like a bush or whatever, and you get close, and it's a giant spider, and it stabs you in the chest.
and just like all the ways like how you die are like ridiculous, like all the giant buzz saws and everything, just how your guy like collapses and falls over is like, you know, really weird way to see like any character die, especially like some little kid.
Yeah, you feel bad when he dies.
Yeah,
because you're like, I just slaughtered a little kid.
Yeah, and there's definitely some pretty cool achievements in this game, especially like I think you have to beat the whole game without like dying or losing a certain amount of lives, which
I haven't done yet.
Alright, well that wrap it up. That was our top 12 Xbox Live Arcade game. This has been Major Tom.
This was Ranger John.